Welcome back, everybody. 45 minutes after on this Thursday afternoon, rents on Manhattan apartments fell by as much as 18% in the second quarter from a year ago. It comes as rising unemployment in New York continues to curb demand. Well, joining us right now to talk about the future of real estate right here in New York is Jonathan Miller, President and CEO of Miller Samuel. That's the firm that did all the research on these falling apartment rents. We're going to talk about that in just a moment. Also with us, Bloomberg News' Ashrat Karmiel, our beat reporter on Manhattan rents. So let's get right to it. Jonathan, let's start with you. I mean, the rental market falling apart here in New York?
Well, it's really paralleling what we're seeing on the sale market. We're seeing rising inventory, a much lower number of transactions, and rents actually falling.
All right, talk to me about numbers. I mean, in terms of the declines that we're seeing, how significant are those declines?
Well, they are significant. Everything that we're talking about is a double-digit change from the same period last year. You're talking inventory up almost 30%, and you're talking, as you said, rental price per foot is down almost 18%, and transactions, which is the big number, is off by about 58%. So it's
so transactions meaning
number of new rentals that are being taken out.
All right, and I know you guys have your own data. City Habitats also does some tracking of data, and they're finding similar results.
Yeah, they're tracking across neighborhoods. They're saying about 8% overall when you look at all the apartments across all neighborhoods.
In terms of what you're hearing, are you hearing, Ashrat, that we're going to continue to see these declines continuing? I mean, New York kind of held up fairly well in terms of the real estate market. I've talked to some folks, Professor Schiller over at Yale, and he said, kind of New York holds up, and they're kind of, as it gets to the end, that's when you start to see it fall apart. So what are you hearing, that we're going to continue to see declines?
Well, I'm just talking to a lot of brokers, a lot of renters, and you just hear the anecdotal stories is what we're hearing when we marry that with the data. But we're hearing renters taking a lot more time to make decisions, demanding things like moving in early, demanding 2 to 3 months free rent, and I had several brokers tell us that they get clients calling up saying, I don't want to pay a broker's fee.
Right. I mean, Jonathan, safe to say that renters are kind of in the driver's seat at this point.
Right, just like the sale market, that they're driving the activity. And, to your question about how long it'll continue, I don't think we're expecting an immediate change to the condition because unemployment is continuing to rise.
Right.
We're still in a recession, the economy is weak, and the rental market tends to be much more reactive to changes in economic conditions than the purchase market.
All right, so if we start to see the economy start to bottom out, start to show some signs potentially of improvement, you would assume that you'd start to see that quickly in the rental market.
Yeah, I would think you'd see a much quicker reaction to that than you would in the purchase market.
Talk to me about the rental numbers, Jonathan. I mean, how do they correlate with the number of apartment sales? Is there a correlation here?
Not really. There's not an inverse relationship between, if someone's not going to buy, they rent. Basically, both markets have seen, for example, the purchase market, that over the same period, second quarter versus second quarter, was down over 50%. 50%, 58%, very similar correlation.
Ashrat, you cover the real estate market. I mean, I know you talked to Jonathan. I'm just curious if there's anything you want to ask him.
Well, I wanted to ask about the discounts. I mean, was there any noticeable difference in the kind of discounts people were actually getting versus asking for?
Yes, there was. I mean, about a year ago at this time, you were looking at between 2 and 3% off of the asking price on a rental. Now, the average is somewhere in the neighborhood of 9.5%, although that's skewed by the fact that we had more larger apartments that actually rented this period in terms of market share, and they tend to have larger discounts. And the reason why we had that change is that we had a lot of first-time buyers in the spring because of low mortgage rates, and they came from the smaller apartment market, studios and one-bedrooms.
All right. So, based on the data that you're seeing, I mean, how would you describe the Manhattan real estate market, let's say, for the next 6 months or so here?
Weak. Again, correlating with the economy. I don't see any reason why it would lead the economy. It's going to trail the economy.
All right. I think we're going to leave it there. Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
My pleasure.
Jonathan Miller and our own Ashrat Karmiel. Thank you.